And welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. It's been a while. Have a seat. It's me, your humble host, the Fantasy Typhoon, a.k.a. The Mentalist, a.k.a. your favorite analyst. Favorite analyst. We're back after the Super Bowl. We took a little hiatus, got quiet a little bit. Some good playoff football went down. Google or Bing the Fantasy Typhoon, hit enter. That's my whole page. That's how you follow me. Um, Fantasy Typhoon. Let's see. Let me start with my quote. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. Dale Carnegie. Success is getting what you want. Happiness, on the other hand, is wanting what you get. All right, let's get on into it, man. Look, folks, a lot of good football has been played. What about those Titans? Wow. Ryan Tannehill, comeback player of the year. Kyler Murray, rookie of the year. Let's see. Lamar Jackson, MVP, unanimous. Calais Campbell, Walter Payton Award. Let's see. Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl champ, and MVP of that said Super Bowl. I mean, you can debate it could have went either way, either there, but at the end of the day, it's going to Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you know this. Come on, stop whining. You know where it's going. Now let's get into the Super Bowl because a lot of in this episode we'll go over the Super Bowl recap, kind of that last 5 minute window of the Super Bowl where Kansas City more wanted than you can. I don't know. Both sides have valid points. Some say San Francisco kind of lost it, and then some say, Kansas City just took it. And basically, it's a little bit of both. I'll go back through it a little bit. A lot of folks are calling for Shanahan's head and calling for Garoppolo's head. And once you go back and through the all 22 and watch what really happened, it was a team collapse. Everybody played a major part in it. Shanahan did it, Joe Staley, Kendrick Bourne, Deebo Samuel, Jimmy Garoppolo, offensive line. I mean, everybody had a little hand in the cookie jar as far as that meltdown. Look, also I'll go over. Here's a prime point I want to bring to you. That's my debate. My presidential. You know how the presidents do. The presidential candidates, they do this right here. This is my presidential nugget. Look, a lot of folks are drooling and going crazy and saying how deep and in awe of this 2020 rookie draft. But my God, you have just missed a phenomenal historical 2019 draft. So listen to me. Listen to me. I'm recommending this now. You don't have to do it. These are recommendations we make. Instead of going all in on 2020, there is a lot of 2019 pieces you can come back and scoop up. With a 2020 pick, boom, give me a 2019 rookie. Give me a piece of that 2019 class instead of spending it on this so-called wide receiver dream 2020 class. Look, I'll go over each one. Look, 2019, what they had, Hollywood Brown, DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel, Keneal Harry, Deontay Johnson, Terry McLaurin, A.J. Brown, Noah Fant, all in the man. That's Darius. Slayton. You had a lot of that's a lot of studs from a so-called non-productive 2019 rookie rookie draft. So I just go over that and go over these new coaching hires, and we're gone. Uh, let's see. Get back to news and notes. Let's get back to the news. Now, the Super Bowl, a lot of folks are dragging Shanny through the mud, for the Super Bowl. You know, hey, sometimes teams just lose sometimes. Now, you can eat his lunch for taking his foot off the gas at halftime, but here's what he saw. He saw Andy Reid, 2-minute warning, 3 full timeouts left. Scores 10-10. He's like, okay, I've seen what type of game we're in. We're about to go to the locker room and get this long layoff, for Shakira and J-Lo to do their thing. And he's running the ball. He wants Andy Reid to take a timeout. If he wants to see, he's gauging Andy Reid to kind of see what Andy Reid is going to do before he calls his plays. So he's running the ball to see, okay, if how important these seconds are to Andy Reid. He's checking his clock management, basically. So he's running the ball. Andy Reid calls the timeout. He's like, okay, Andy Reid's invested in getting the ball back. So he's serious about getting the ball back instead of like, in other words, Andy Reid hasn't sold out and threw in the white flag. All right, let's just go to halftime. So what does Shanahan do? Call one of his beaters. Shanahan has about 7 plays a game that will hit. If everybody do what they do and execution is flawless, it's working. It's pretty much 100% guaranteed work as far as the play, as far as from his brain to the pad to the install. It's perfect. It's flawless. Now, and that was the pass to Kittle. He knew he could get that. All right. Let me see what Andy Reid's going to do. I got plays to get us downfield. Let me just see what Andy's doing first. All right, look at Andy. All right. Boom, let's take a shot to Kittle. Took a shot to Kittle. O-line held up. Jimmy Garoppolo threw a dime. But the offensive pass interference snuck in on Kittle. Erased that play. All right, so now your half is over. So, does he really trust Garoppolo or not? He just put the whole scoring before halftime on Jimmy Garoppolo's back. So absolutely, he trusts Garoppolo. They run. Look, you got to realize they run the ball because their run game is outstanding. It's not because Jimmy Garoppolo can't play. It's because the running game is just fabulous. And when it's hitting, it's hitting. That's the only reason why they run the ball as much as they do. We've been telling you that since week 2. That run game is the best in the game. After we did our research on it, we've been screaming at it. If you've been following Typhoons TV, all through the offseason until the season started, you already knew Shanahan had the top run game in the NFL back then. But anyway, so that's what happened. So then after the offensive pass interference went against them, boom. All right, let's kneel down. Let's get out of here. Let's just call it a day. But he had a play, and he believed enough in Garoppolo to make the play. It just didn't happen. Now let's see. Now there's a lot of things. I didn't really see Shanny or Jimmy G give up that 3rd and 15, which basically changed the game. The defense gave up the 3rd and 15, so let's remember that. The loss in the final minutes was basically on the whole offense. So let's just go through a couple of things. The first one was Joe Staley with the false start, taking, I think it was like a 2nd and 9 or a 3rd and 9 into a 2nd or 3rd and 14. second or third and 14, and put them pretty much behind the 8 ball. They couldn't overcome it. Offensive line allowed 2 crucial batted balls on their watch from Garoppolo at crucial time. Now, when Garoppolo's passing, Garoppolo only had like 6 or 7 knockdowns at the line of scrimmage, pass deflected at the line of scrimmage all season. He had like 3 this game. So, yeah, it's not on Garoppolo. That's on the offensive line. They should have kept the defensive lineman's hands down. Now, also during that meltdown, Debo Samuel and Kendrick Bourne ran the same pivot route on the right side when they were in doubles. So Jimmy Garoppolo didn't know what to do with the ball because both guys running pivot routes at the same depth. So they basically covered each other. Now, Jimmy G missed a wide open Kittle. That would have done some damage. It wasn't number open grass if that would have hit. But for some reason, Jimmy G didn't read it and didn't pull the trigger and threw the ball over to, I think it was Kendrick Bourne or Debo Samuel, who was, covered. And you got George Kittle running free, right in the middle of the field. Jimmy G didn't see it. So that's on Jimmy G. Kyle missed a couple of plays where the free safety and strong safety were in pass support. Could have been an easy run, 4 or 5 yards. Kyle didn't run. It was 2 occasions Kyle could have ran the ball. Now, finally, you say Shanny doesn't trust Jimmy G. He put the whole game on Jimmy G. Like I was telling you earlier, Shanahan has plays that when he calls it, Shanahan pulls the offense to the side doing walkthroughs. And he's like, okay, I have a play for Miles Sanders. It has a name to it. I don't know the name, so I'm just relaying it to you this way. We have a play that's guaranteed to Sanders. It's a guaranteed touchdown. It's guaranteed. 3rd and 10 in the Super Bowl. He calls it. It's execution. It wasn't Kyle. It was a brilliant call. So all you saying Shanahan meltdown? No, Shanahan put the whole game right there on Jimmy Garoppolo's back. If the offensive line's back, Emmanuel Sanders back because he's got to win. Sanders got to win. Jimmy Garoppolo has got to throw it. And the offensive line has got to hold because it's a 7-step drop. So the offensive line has got to hold so he can make the deep pass. The offensive line did their job. Emmanuel Sanders did his job. Wide open. Jimmy Garoppolo, that was on Garoppolo. Shanahan had the right play, and he put the whole game, the whole outcome of the Super Bowl on Jimmy Garoppolo's back. Now, rewind back. Excuse me. Let's just say, for instance, that pass is caught by Emmanuel Sanders and it's a touchdown. Now, it's not a guaranteed win, but that one play. Now you're looking at Shanahan. Oh, he was a genius calling that play. Oh, Jimmy Garoppolo, you see how easy he just can turn off an overthrow of 5 or 6 yards. Now, I'll say this and I'm gone. I'm done with this. Now, it was the worst outcome that could happen. And like I was saying, when they were in the walkthrough, when they were going over this play, he was telling the whole team, look, offensive line, I need you to hold now. I need you to hold because this is a bomb. Man, Sanders, I need you to get open. I need you to outrun everybody. I need you to run like your hair's on fire, like the police is chasing you. Excuse me. Because you have got to this is on you. And then he looks at Jimmy G. Jimmy, the last thing you need to do is overthrow it. If you miss him, and it's short and he has to come back and we get a flag, that's fine. If you throw it and it, and it hits his hands or whatever, whatever. But you can't, and I repeat, you cannot overthrow him. That was what Shanahan told the whole team. And Jimmy Garoppolo went out and overthrew him, which is the last thing. That was the worst case scenario for the 49ers. So miss me with all that talk that Kyle Shanahan melted, and miss me with all the talk. Now you can kind of talk about Garoppolo a little bit. 2 plays could have changed that whole game. I'll say this and I'm gone. The Chiefs, 3rd and 15 that they threw to Tyreek Hill, that was the rebuttal. That long play to Emmanuel Sanders was the answer to that 3rd and 15 for Kansas City. That was the answer. Kyle Shanahan drew it up. He trusted Garoppolo. He trusted Garoppolo. Put the Super Bowl on Garoppolo's shoulders. Garoppolo didn't bring it through. Man. It is what it is. Now, there's a lot of talk about adding extra games to the season. Now, this is going to pass at some point. Now, let me just tell you how it was presented to me. With the extra games, it's going to be more games overseas, and out-of-market games, along with each organization getting two bye weeks. So basically, they're playing the same amount of games. It's just extended along. The season is elongated. For instance, the Super Bowl was just played last weekend. Under the new rules, let's see, we would be coming into the San Francisco Green Bay game would be tomorrow, and the Titans Kansas City Chiefs game would be tomorrow, which is the 9th. Then the 16th will be an off week. Hold on. No, I'm wrong. When is President's Day? Hold on. When is President's Day? Hold on. Because what they want is, they want the Super Bowl to be played. Okay, President's Day is February 17th. Okay, so all right, so the February 2nd is when the championship rounds with the Kansas City Titans would have played last week. Instead of Super Bowl last week, you'd have a championship round. You would have had the Green Bay Packers and San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco winning advanced into the Super Bowl. And then you'd have had Kansas City Chiefs playing the Tennessee Titans. Kansas City Chiefs going to the Super Bowl. And this Sunday, tomorrow, the 9th, would have been the off week for the Super Bowl. And then the 10th through the 15th would have been Super Bowl Media Week. And then on the 16th is the Super Bowl, and the reason why they want those extra games in there is to elongate the season, to push back the Super Bowl so the Super Bowl can be played on right before President's Day, and then that way a lot of the fans can have President's Day off and can go in on the Super Bowl and go out and drink and. In other words, you can let your hair down and have a little bit more fun with the Super Bowl as opposed to being rushed to get up and go to work the next day. All right, now this is a little segment here. I just want to go over but let me just say this and I'll be done with that. Now, one thing about this, they want it passed and it's going to pass, whether this year or next year. But this year, if it passes, it needs to pass soon so the coaches can get prepared for the elongated season, and they might need to allot more funds to Instead of a 53-man roster, they might have to expand roster space just for the extra attention or the extra games or the extra weeks that are on the schedule. I don't know. Does that equate to another payday as well for the players? I don't know how that would work out, but it's going to pass. It's just when. Let's see. Now, here's a little dynasty. Just a little dynasty project, or a little something that I was just going over. Just kind of like, what trader are you? One, are you the Bill Belichick trader? Are you getting rid of guys 2 years to 1 year early, no matter who it is? Like, let's say, are you getting rid of Julio? He's old. All right, he still can produce, but I know he's getting ready to decline. It's coming. It's evident it's coming. Father Time is undefeated. Let me just go ahead and get rid of him, get what I can, and play this season without. Are you moving on from players 1 to 2 years before they actually break down? Like AJ Green. Are you out? Are you moving on? He's an older player. Larry Fitzgerald, did you move on? Earlier. Things of that nature. Are you moving on from players that age wise only age and only age and decline? That's the only reason why you're moving on. Are you that type of owner, or are you kind of like Jerry Jones? Are you holding players that you love that that are past their prime, or are you holding on to players that are just never going to cut it? Kind of like you love presidential. You love Carlos Hyde. Man, I like Carlos Hyde. Man, that's my boy. So are you just holding on to Carlos Hyde instead of trading him and just getting him off your roster like you should? Or Duke Johnson, like you should, but you're holding on to him because you have a personal attachment to that player for some reason that you like. I'm a little bit of that with Will Fuller. I'm holding Will Fuller. I like Will Fuller. Antonio Brown. I like Antonio Brown. So I'm a little biased, and I'm holding on longer than what I really should. I should have sold, but I'm holding on a little bit longer than what I should. I should have put the Belichick mentality is the best way to play. You're never stuck. Or are you like the Redskins? You're buying over-the-hill players, for full price. Are you now going in to get Devonta Freeman for a first and a second? Are you now going in to get Adrian Peterson? Are you now buying Greg Olsen? Are you buying those over-the-hill players? So, you fall into 1 to 3 categories, or you could have a blend of all three. Just a little exercise I just want to go over with, just right quick. And I just want to say, it's also, overpay is not a bad word. Oh, when you hear the word overpay, everybody's like, oh, you overpaid. I mean, but for who? Some players you're okay. Overpay is not a bad word. Overpay is not, derogatory is. A lot of fantasy analysts make it out the same. It just depends on who you overpaid for. You overpay for the right guy, it's fine. It's all about getting those points onto your roster. It's all about securing those points on Sunday. That's what it's all about. Putting that pot of gumbo and putting out that starting lineup that's going to win for you. Now, if you have to overpay to outscore somebody, then it is what it is. As long as that player is performing, like if you'd have bought Zeke, a year ago when he was going through his legal troubles, and you would have overpaid, that's fine. Certain players you can overpay for. Let's see, if you went out and, like Mahomes, if you want Mahomes, you got to overpay. It's fine, overpay. And just sit back and relax the next 10 years. That's fine. there are certain players you can. DK Metcalf, I strongly suggest if you're going to overpay. Terry McLaurin, if you're going to overpay, yeah, that's fine. Overpay. Certain players, yes. Overpay is not, a curse word. It's not frowned upon as much as folks think. Just like, a lot of folks doing articles on buy lows, but you need to start doing articles on overpays. It's okay. Everybody's looking, everybody's trained. Well, yeah, he's a buy low. Well, who's your buy low? Who's your buy low? Well, no. Who your overpays? There are players to overpay for. Like I said, I know you've been, conditioned to only buy low, but overpays work out just as well, just as fine when you get the right guy. All right, now I just want to go over some things. I'm using no numbers for this. Sometimes when your recommendations come out, pretty much, folks, they just got to make football sense. As long as you know the schemes and the offensive coordinator's tendencies and what's happening on the field, you can kind of start moving your pieces around now. And you don't need a number for it. It's just a football IQ. Okay, for instance, what you mean, Typhoon? All right, the Browns brought in Steph Noski, the Steph Noski guy, right? Where he come from? The Kubiak tree. What did they run with Dalvin Cook? Inside-outside stretch. Right? A lot of bootleg and traps and passes to the tight end. A lot of play action passes deep. That's what the offense is. All right, so now you take that template, which is an HW personnel template. You like 2 tight end sets. All right, so you take that template and you kind of put it over the roster of the Cleveland Browns. Who comes out? All right, you look at Njoku. Athletic tight end who can see an uptick because tight ends get work. Athletic tight ends get work in the system, especially on those bootlegs. Baker Mayfield can roll out. So it don't take a number to see an uptick in Njoku for this upcoming season. He's a buy low. All right, now transfer that to the backfield. Now, Nick Chubb is, in my opinion, he's more of power, power, AB gap type runner. He can run stretch, inside, outside stretch, but that's what they do at Kansas City. That's where Kareem Hunt came from. So now you take him and put him into the HW personnel offense that Gary Kubiak. It's all under the Shanahan tree, right? So it's pretty much Shanahan's run game. Hunt seems like a better candidate for starting duties above Chubb. Now, they're going to start Chubb. But here's the thing. You got new eyes on the situation. Stefanowski or whatever his name is. The new head coach of the Browns did not draft Hunt. He did not draft Chubb. Both of those guys come to camp. Hey, if Hunt shows out better in camp and shows that he's a little bit more acclimated to the HW personnel system, all right. Don't be surprised. All I'm saying is don't be surprised. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm just saying don't be surprised if Hunt comes out week 1. Don't be shocked don't be shocked. Or they could trade Hunt, because he's an idiot off the field. I don't know. That can go so many ways. I'm just saying, without numbers, just looking at the scheme, Hunt seems to be a better fit, in my opinion, from football knowledge. I don't need a number. From football knowledge, inside outside stretch from the HW personnel system seems to carry over for what they did, similar to what they did in Kansas City. Kareem Hunt seems to be more natural fit for that than Chubb. Now, let's just take a look at some rookies, some 2019 rookies. I got some recommendations for you. No numbers, it's just observations, man. It's just stuff you see. What you see tells the whole story. You know, like I was saying earlier, don't fall in love with the 2020 class when you have a 2019 class sitting right in front of you. So don't get caught drooling over 2020 when 2019 was full of studs. You know, so don't be afraid to trade out and get you a player. Okay. That's one thing I want to say about the Browns too is Baker Mayfield. Let me go back. Sorry, I missed that on Baker. On Baker. Where is Baker? Let me say this about Baker. Now, what's holding the whole Cleveland Browns organization back as far as the team is mostly Baker. One, he's not a leader. Now, it's clear he's not a leader. Now, he's been in the league, 2-3 years? And he's just learning. He got to shut up at press conferences. He's just learning that. Now, it's good he learned it, but he's just learning it. He threw the medical team under the bus. He threw Duke Johnson under the bus. He's speaking out on a lot of things that don't concern him, like he's the authoritative figure. And the boys in the locker room, after the first time, you would think he would have got it. After doing training camp, when he came out, you know, when Duke Johnson wanted to get traded, when he came out and said what he said about Duke Johnson's money, you know, the boys pulled him into the locker room. Hey, man, you can't be doing that, man. You can't be talking about that man's money. And after that, okay, you would think, all right, I'm the quarterback. I'm the CEO of $1 billion team. I'm in charge of this. I'm talking about Baker. You're in charge of $1 billion franchise, bro. You would think you would have enough mental capacity to say, all right, I screwed up, fellas. I'll learn from that. No, then he comes around a couple of weeks later and throws the doctors under the bus about OBJ and his groin. So, evidently, here we go. Dude, we just told you, man. You can't be doing this. So, the team has to constantly correct the so-called leader. Evidently, he's not a leader. So now he finally seems like a light bulb has just went off in Baker's mind, that he finally realizes he's a franchise quarterback. He's in charge of $1 billion industry. He's in charge of $1 billion organization. So we'll see. Gets to the podium. Baker, it's got to be about you and only about you. When you win, it's about them. When you lose, it's about you. When you win, yeah, my offensive line did everything for me. Did everything for us. My wide receivers played great. Boy, did you see that run back from the special team. Guys played great. You lose, yeah, you know, it was on me. There was a couple of throws I could have done a little better. You know, I could have sped up things a little bit better. I could have made a couple more reads. I could have handed the ball off a little bit better to my running backs. You know, I failed. I'm learning and I'm getting better at this. That's what $1 billion franchise quarterback looks like. Now, with all that being said, a leader of $1 billion industry. Let's get into our rookies now. I'm getting to the rookie segment. All right, let's think about Daniel Jones. Not all out in front of everything. He's in the hardest market, well, one of the hardest markets in the NFL is the New York Giants. Took the job from Eli. So, you know, he has a lot of weight on his shoulders. What have you seen from him? I see Daniel Jones as a heck of a better leader. I see that locker room following Daniel Jones more than the locker room in the Browns following Baker. That's huge, man. And guess where Daniel Jones is right now? Right now. Even though, you know, Carolina just lost to Duke. tonight in UNC. But guess what Daniel Jones is right now? With Coach Cutcliffe of the Duke Blue Devils, Slayton, Shepard, Ingram, receivers are out at Duke. Getting better, just like Cutcliffe used to do with Peyton Manning, Cutcliffe used to do with Eli Manning. Now Cutcliffe is doing the same with Daniel Jones. He's out getting better. He's not on First Take. He's not on. The dude is. That's a leader. You see it? If I might trade Daniel Jones and a piece to get Baker. I might trade Baker for Daniel Jones and a piece. In other words, I have more faith in Daniel Jones hitting than Baker. And I let you hold Baker. Now, if Baker hits, all right, I lost, I was wrong, and then, all right, that's what you, if I got to have him, then I'll overpay. As long as I know he's balling, I'll overpay for him. That's fine. But as of right now, heck no. I'd rather have Daniel Jones right now today. Locker room's going to follow him. He's shown he can be trusted. He's out right now building rapport with his receivers right now. It's just a week after the Super Bowl. Come on now. Pay attention. It don't take numbers for that. It don't take numbers to see who. That's the one thing we get the 40 time, we get the 3-cone, we get the 20, we get the short yard shuttle, we get the watch and work out. One thing we don't get as folks from the outside looking in, we don't get a peek into the drive and the heart and the desire of the player's love for the game. That pretty much tells it all. And we, myself, folks on Twitter, nobody, we don't really get a good pull back of the curtain and somebody let us in and let us see, what's in his mind. We don't get that. We don't have privy to that information, which is the most information. You take a little Wes Welker. You take a little Julian Edelman. Tough little guys. You're looking at them at the combine. God, they're slow. But they're hard. And they're want to be good in the NFL. And they're smart to understand zone and man coverage and where they are on the field and how to leverage it. And how to get in the soft spot each and every down. That's unmeasurable to us. We don't get to sit down and ask them questions. We don't get to interview them. So these little bitty clues, see, most folks are sitting back looking at spreadsheets, but they miss Daniel Jones out of Duke throwing with learning from Cutcliffe, and his receivers are there. That's huge. But anyway, Kyler Murray, rookie of the year. If I'm in 2 QB, I'll take a shot. If I'm in 1 QB, I'll let him blow up on your roster. If I have him, I'm holding, but I'm not going out and buying. Dwayne Haskins. That's the dude who forgot to come out and finish the game because he's over at the sideline taking selfies. Word is out. Like I told you, there's no numbers here. You just gotta dig and get information. This is huge. Word is out, he's been going to a lot of NBA games. And what is he doing at the NBA games? He's taking selfies and he's signing autographs. So is he more of a I want to be social media star, I want to be seen, as opposed to I want this to work? I don't know. I let you figure it out on your roster. I let you figure it out. I don't want no pieces of it. Now, I'm not saying he can't do it. That ain't what I said. I'm saying you can hold him, and I'll watch from while he's on your roster. Now, if something happens and something shakes out, and it comes out that he wants to, he's ready to All right, I was young and immature. It's gonna come out. He's gonna say these words. Yeah, I was young and immature. I wasn't ready for the big stage yet. I didn't know what it entailed. He's gonna say that at some point in time in his career. He's gonna come out and admit it. He's gonna do that on your roster though. I don't mind. So if you own him, no, don't get off yet. But put a check mark beside him. Don't put his name down in pen. Put it in pencil. DK Metcalf. Oh no, let's move on to Darius Guys. Look, I know he got hurt his rookie year. Flipped around, hurt his knee, other knee again this year. Guy can't get on the field. But that little sample size that we got, dude, I'm buying that. Look, what's the hardest part for a player? Can he play? If you got a guy that can play, I'm talking about play. The guy can play football, folks. He just can't stay healthy for some reason this early in his career. And it's his knees. He's a running back. It's crucial. Those go hand in hand. But he's a young cat right now. I'm buying that. I know he's a stud. I put him on my bench. I load a stud up on my bench. It's not my problem. It's not my problem about his injuries. His injury is not my concern right now. Right now, I just want to bring him in, get him on the roster, and we'll figure. He can sit on my roster while we figure it out. I don't want you to hold him. You can hold Haskins. You can hold Baker. And then when they start balling, then I might come send you an offer, just kind of feel it to see where you're at, and then I might take them from you when they become ballers. But Darius Geis is the opposite. He's already a baller. I want him on my roster. So I'm buying guys. Now, there was a report come out. You know, he's been in the bars a lot. He's been doing a lot of drinking. On social media, one guy was like, "Hey, he was like, hey, guess what? I'm sitting two seats down from Darius Geis, and dude is wasted, and on more than one occasions." But I'll buy guys. All you could ever want is a player to be a stud. That's all you could ever want. That's why I'm holding. Your boy from the Texans. You know, he's a stud. What is his name? That's why I'm holding. What is his name? Will Fuller. That's why I'm holding Will Fuller. I'll move on to another rookie. Look. This guy here, DK Metcalf, the situation, they're in a traditional pro set offense. It's kind of like the triplets. They want to run. They need quarterback Russell, running back Carson, Penny, wide receiver. It's going to be Metcalf over Lockett. It's coming. He's playing the X receiver. It's coming. Metcalf coming this year. Basically what he was getting the feel of the NFL. Now he has an off season. He doesn't have to prep for the combine. He knows what's happening. He's with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is going to have him out there just like Daniel Jones is with Slayton and Shepard and Ingram and Tate. All of them are right now. Russell's going to have, you remember what Russell said? Hey, I called Metcalf up about 5 in the morning. We've been out throwing the ball, and this was last year. So you know they're going to re-implement. He's with Russell. DK Metcalf is going to be fine as far as training, as far as getting his off work in, as far as getting in sync with what Russell wants him to do. Russell knows the playbook. Now you're going to start seeing a little bit more stop routes, a little bit more outs. All he did this year was run slants, back shoulders, and pretty much 9 routes. He run a couple of posts. But now we're going to open up a little bit more playbook on it. So now you're going to see a little uptick from DK Metcalf. And as you see Julio Jones descend, and as you see DeAndre Hopkins descend, and as you see, what's that other guy? And as you see these older wide receivers start to descend, look for Metcalf starting to rise. So I look for him to take another step this season. I'm looking for about a 12 finish this year. Now, at the end of the day, out of all the 2019 rookies, Metcalf is in the situation that's the best. He's already he's going to be the wide receiver one. So I'm overpaying now for Metcalf while I can. Excuse me. Hollywood Brown, love the situation with Hollywood. You know, relax. You know, he's going to grow alongside Lamar. You know, if I were you, in one QB league, I'd be trading Lamar everywhere I could. You know, he's going to have to show he can win from the pocket. He's going to have to mainly prove he can come from behind. Hollywood is going to be targeted a lot in this system. It's basically Lamar, Ingram, Hollywood, and Andrews. That's where your points are coming from. You don't need numbers for this. Hollywood's coming up that chart because they know it. Harbaugh knows it. Offensive coordinator knows it. They got to get this man throwing the ball more. So now Lamar and Hollywood Brown can grow together. Hollywood has already showed you he's a baller. So it's just how much faith you put in Lamar Jackson. Because if Lamar Jackson goes, Hollywood still stays, and he's still the focal point of the offense. If you get you a Peyton Manning in there or a statue passer, fine. Hollywood still can work. So I'm buying Hollywood any way I can. Justice Hill and Darren Henderson, both pretty much are waiting their time. They're just sitting back waiting. They're just waiting for their time. Now, I know a lot of reports on Gurley and on David Johnson. Look, those players make too much guaranteed money in 2020 for them to be cut. It just makes no sense. And if you look where the information came from, it came from an ESPN fluff piece where they were just going around all 32 teams and just asking the beat writer for each one that covers each one of the 32 teams, what's one of the biggest storylines in the offseason? And Gurley came up and David Johnson came up. Neither one, I highly don't expect either one to move. Kill Harry, we told you about this. It's the Brady curve. Brady don't trust you, you're not getting the ball. Brady don't trust rookies, especially rookies that don't get separation. So, one plus is he'll be returning to the same system, Josh McDaniels, Bill Belichick's system, which is a plus. Now, what he does we don't have a light on what he's doing during the off season. You see what I'm trying to say? We don't get a window into that. So I don't know what he's doing. I don't know where his mind is. So before you go all out and I'll let you can hold him. You keep that. If he balls out and takes the curve, then I don't mind putting a first or two firsts together to come get him from me. Because I don't mind overpaying for somebody who can ball. And I don't mind you holding them until they prove they can ball. You see what I'm saying? Deebo Samuel. He's a sell, in my opinion. He can't get open on his own. That's why you see him in games. He just disappears. You know, like when you're watching the Super Bowl. He came out, he looked good because it was a lot of jet sweeps. He was doing more running than catching. You know, Kyle Shanahan, he's already showing you what he sees from him. He sees Deebo Samuels as more of uh, what I want to say, a running back on the edge as opposed to a wide receiver because he can't get open on a consistent basis. Now, everybody can get open once in a while. Everybody can get open with 7 times a game, but the ball's not coming his way that much. So Deebo Samuel is more of a running back on the San Francisco system. It's a full West Coast system. On West Coast system than I would like, and he's his name cachet has so much buzz. You can get you a nice piece and get out. Yeah, you might take Deebo Samuel and get you a Jerry Judy or something to that equivalent. Yeah, I'm out. You can have Debo, and I'll wait and see what Jerry Judy does. Now here's my guy, the buy of the century right now. Guys know, folks are talking about him, but he's not getting the buzz he deserves. And that's that Deontay Johnson. That little dude out of Toledo. Look, folks, this little dude can play some football. Look, he did that with Buck Hodges and Mason Rudolph at quarterback. The guy is so quick. He's so sudden with his moves, his pivot routes, his out routes, his post route. He can run the full route tree. He can put his foot in the ground, and the guy can get open. Now, I don't know what he's doing this offseason. Boy, if he's working on his routes this offseason and he's really dug in and he has that desire, like, man, I got to have this, then hopefully we get Big Ben back next year, who likes to sling the ball all over the yard. Whew. Man. And marry don't take numbers for this. And marry the fact that you got Juju. Defense is worried about Juju. This dude, man, trying to tell you, this is the buy. Look, take you a 3.1, go get him right now. They'll sell him. Or take a late second and go get him. Dynasty League, man, that dude sitting there. You gotta. Once the news come back about Big Ben, they're about to check on him in about the next couple of weeks, and they're going to give you a full report on how his arm is doing. He's throwing a tennis ball right now, so he's working his way back. So it looks like he'll make a full recovery before OTAs, before the rookie draft. If he does, Deontay, that's one spike in value. And once OTAs crank up and training camp, it's over. Once the little preseason comes out, man, this little dude, all right, we told you several times. Terry McLaurin, if you heard me earlier, Scary Terry, if you heard me earlier in the show, look, like Deontay Johnson, I'm taking one of those picks I have for this drooling 2020 class. I'm coming out. Give me Deontay Johnson. I'll let you drool over this shiny new toy. Give me that. He'll sit on my bench. Terry McLaurin. I know he's playing with the Redskins. I know. So you got to look at the organization. Some of these players, the organization. Now that they turned the corner and hired an adult in the room, Riverboat Ron. So I do see some consistency coming. And I'll get to the coaches in a minute. I do see some consistency coming now that you have, Riverboat Ron in the house. But here's the thing. Like I said, they don't take numbers. Now, you do research on the guy. When he was 10 years old, Terry McLaurin wrote a letter to himself saying, I want to be one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. At 10, he wrote a letter. Now, I know you're like, okay, so what? He wrote a letter. Probably all these cats wrote letters. He still got it. He still got the letter. So, Does he want to be great or not? I don't know. You tell me. He wrote a letter to himself at 10 saying he wants to be one of the greatest wide receivers to ever play in the NFL, and he still has a letter. 2, he's already working out. He's already out there working on his craft. Super Bowl just got put to bed last week. I overpay for that. That right there, I will overpay for that. I overpay for that. OJ Brown, AJ Brown. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I mean, I like him. He's coming out the slide. He's coming out the X. He's coming out the Z. You know, he's moving all around the field, taking jet sweeps. He can get open. He catches the ball. He's gone. He's got great field awareness. Get yards after the catch, which is good because that's helping your fantasy points. Every 15, 20, 30 extra yards that he gains is extra fantasy point for your score on Sunday, for your matchup. I got to wait and see a little bit more from A.J. Brown. I'm not buying him. His price is too high. I'll let you hold him right now. He's not an overpay. I just let you hold him. Let's just wait and see a little bit more of that. I would take Terry over him. Damian Harris, Bryce Love, 2 high-touted rookies. You know, both came out. Both didn't get any burn. Well, Bryce Love was hurt. You know, so we got to wait and see what happens there. But my like I told you, I have real NFL scouts that do my scouting work. So I don't have to go on Twitter and look at some guy who just started doing it 2 weeks ago, saying he knows, well, he's on my board. I really don't care about your board. But from real NFL scouts, had Bryce Love and Damian Harris pretty high. So I would buy either one of those guys just off of the draft grade. Now with Damian Harris, he's for Belichick. You know how that go. Belichick is going to let you earn your role, come in, learn the Patriot way first. Now, Damian Harris will get some burn this year. He won't be a healthy scratch this year. I would buy both of those. Those are buy lows. Noah Fant. These are all rookies, man. This is your 2019 class is loaded. Darius Slayton. Forgot about Slayton. He's out there right now with Daniel Jones, man. They're drafting another wide receiver. They're going to draft a high wide receiver, and he's going to come in and take the work. I can't trust Slayton. And no matter how good he's doing, his draft pedigree just isn't high enough. They're going to bring some weapons in. They're going to bring a bigger dude in that's going to command the attention. Jason Garrett now, the offensive coordinator. So it's just the politics of the NFL is just going to step on him. It's not him. It's just the politics and just knowing the NFL the way I do. Been doing this for years. It's just he's just going to get looked over. A new coaching staff come in, don't owe him a thing. He just bad timing, man. He's a good guy, good player. They just don't trust him. Noah Fant. They gave him a couple of plays, just to see what he can do this year. That was just kind of like a warm-up. I look forward to the Broncos, building, around his skill set. But the one thing I did love the most out of Noah Fant is that when he catches the ball, extend, catch, tuck, turn. That's the process of a catch. So, I mean, when you see Noah Fant gets the ball, the man knows what to do with it when he catches it. That's huge for a tight end. He's kind of like an A.J. Brown of tight end. He gets the ball, oh yeah, he's gone. He's going to get you some yak. Uh, you know, so he immediately becomes a runner. He knows exactly what to do with being a runner. I like Noah Fant. I'll buy Noah Fant above T.J. Hawkinson. T.J. Hawkinson is kind of the total opposite of what we've seen from Noah Fant. You know, he looks unsure. He looks scared. He looks timid. He looks tentative. He looks like he doesn't know what to do. And when he catches the ball, he just runs right into you. Noah Fant is boom. Give me another 20 yards. T.J. Hawkinson just boom. Fant, Hawkinson, doof, just running right into you. Right now, I take Fant all day. If you got, I just sold Hawk for 1.11. You got to go. Miles Sanders, Josh Jacobs, both up for Rookie of the Year, so no need to even waste time. David Montgomery, there's going to be some changes. I'm not buying in. I just hold. If I got him, I'll hold him. If I don't, I'll let you hold him. Let's see what happens. Now, if I do this and I'll go home. Remember I told you I would get on the coaches right quick. Now, failure to popular opinion, a lot of folks think the coach's number one trait should be X's and O's. When in reality, now the coach should have some knowledge of the X's and O's as far as defensive and offensively, but he doesn't have to master in the X's and O's. That's what your offensive coordinator, your defensive coordinators are there for. You can easily get somebody to call the plays. The number one trait that head coach has to have, he's got to be able to have leadership. He's got to be able to command those guys. He's got to be able to lead those guys. He's got to be able to look in those men's eyes and tell them, hey, it's snowing outside, but doggone it, the sun getting ready to come out. And when they come outside, they know sun's coming. Because coach said it. You see what I'm saying? It's not X's and O's on these coaches, so don't get it twisted. These coaches got to be leaders. They've got to lead these men. It's they're talking about elongating the season as well. He's got to lead these men. Even when they don't feel like doing it, they're hurt, they're banged up, underpaid. It's up to that coach to motivate that guy. He's got to be a motivator. He's got to be a leader and a motivator of men. First, I don't care how brilliant he is at the board. If he can't lead and motivate men, they don't care what he put on the board. So let's just go through the new hires. Mike McCarthy, he's a leader. He's got a Super Bowl ring. When he says something in that locker room, Dallas Cowboys players are going to be listening. Ron Rivera, he's an adult. He's a leader of men. Washington, I expect some changes from the Washington Redskins organization going forward, because he's going to weed out the ones that don't want it. He's going to bring in guys that want it, and that's being a leader. Matt Rule, he's a leader. Now, is he going to call plays? No. He brought in a new offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator to handle all that. Matt Rule is there to get those guys motivated and get them ready to play each and every game. That's his job. Joe Judge, New York Giants. Now, say what you want to say about him. He's a special teams guy. He, like I said, he doesn't have to know X's and O's. I tell you what, that man's a leader. You hear him at the press conference. That man's about business. He's coming in. He don't want mistakes. He wants you to play the way he wants you to play. It's his way. He's going to command respect from that locker room. Then you got Daniel Jones being the leader of the team, not just because he's the quarterback either, being the leader of the team, as another, he buys in. So now you got two guys that you look at. Okay. Then you get Saquon to buy in. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That team should be better. Then you got Stefanowski or Ken Stefanowski or whatever for the Cleveland Browns. He's a sheep. And Typhoon, why you say the man is sheep? Well, for one, all those other coaches came in and said, no, I don't want that job. Because they want me to do more things that is irrelevant to being a coach of the Cleveland Browns. Numerous, even the guy pulled his name out the hat for GM. So, in other words, when Stefanowski sat down, Stefanowski, we want you to do this. Okay. Stefanowski, we want you to do it this way. Okay. Stefanowski, we want you to turn in a play. We want you to turn in your playbook every Friday to be reviewed by folks that don't know nothing about football. Okay. A coach would have said, heck no. So that's already telling you right there he's not a leader of men. He's a sheep. He's a, yes, I'll do it. So, with that being said, the guys already see it. The guys already see he's a pushover. This has already failed before it even started. The guys, man, look, players are smart. They already see he done sold out already. So I already know he doesn't have weight. You know, if you don't have weight within the organization, if your voice doesn't have pull, if you can't make things happen, then why the heck should I listen to you? So in other words, he's already been hamstrung. He's already been neutered before he's even had a chance to even get to the locker room. He's already dead. They already know it's the guys in the office already run the show as far as everything. They know Stefanowski, they just running him out there. He's doing what they want him to do. He's not in charge of coaching his philosophy of what he wants to do. He's got to turn a playbook in to folks that don't know nothing about football. All right. Good luck with that. But this is the Fantasy Typhoon here. Google or Bing the Fantasy Typhoon here. Enter. That's my whole page. Happy New Year, everybody. Off-season files number 1. You know how we do. Don't just win. Dominate. We go.